Well, good afternoon, everybody. Our normal happy hour show for Friday, Kentucky Derby weekend. Today is the Kentucky Oaks Day. We covered that last night at 8 o'clock. Myself, John, the traveling handicapper. We got Freddie Bro York in the middle in the blue. And special guest all the way from Florida, Gus Bogey Alonso.
All right,
guys.
What's happening? Oaks Day or Oaks
That's
Night.
it, Freddie. Happy hour. Salute. All right.
You won last night.
All right. So before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors. Our local sponsors are the Vape Shop on Route 33 and Casey's Pork Roll. Been with us since the beginning. And our newest sponsor, so glad to have Brisnet.com, the handicapper's edge. Gus and Freddie's favorite handicapping tools.
So my favorite. I know me.
And let's see, we got the ultimate handicapping package, Oaks Derby. Still time to get involved. We have plenty of races left today and a full day tomorrow. $29.95 for the ultimate Derby package. Check it out on Brisnet.com.
Maybe, John, maybe you want to leave that up because then it blocks my face out.
Oh, that's everybody. All right, everybody gave me a thumbs up. Said they like that better. So, all right, all right, guys.
Hey, Brisnet, by the way, that package, and Gus, I know you're very familiar with it. That package is phenomenal.
Oh, yes. No doubt.
A lot of information here.
Lock and loaded.
Sir.
All right.
Okay.
So
here we go.
We're gonna break down the late pick five tomorrow, the Derby day, and it ends in the Kentucky Derby. So the pick five will start race 8, which is the Pat Day Mile. Let me put our tickets up there so you guys can snap a picture of them. Show. All right, there we go. That's showing our tickets. I got a $144 ticket. Gus Max $144, and Freddie on the cheap side with $112.50. That is, and he doesn't need as many horses as we do. He's pretty much confident that he has it down pat.
Okay.
Well, but I'm pretty confident.
Save a few bucks.
All right, we're going to start with race number 8, the 1 mile Pat Day, 1 turn mile. On paper, and listen to everybody talk, it's a 2-horse race. So, I mean, you either take them both and lose some of your equity in the bet, you single one of them, or you go off the grid and try to spread a little bit, which is what Gus and Fred did both do. I'll be quick. I was just the 1 and the 6. The 4 was the only one I had possible as an upsetter. I decided instead of playing both of them, hopefully the 1 on the rail gets a little, speed test it from the outside, and the 6 breaks a little better than he did, and he could, run by him and probably head right to the Preakness. So if he comes out of this with a good win, he'll be your Preakness horse moving up for Bob Baffert. So I'm just going to single there. Hope I got the right one of the 2. Let's see, you guys, how are we going to beat the 1 and the 6? Gus?
Yeah, I'll go. My top pick is actually the 8-horse, Creole Chrome, Louisiana bred, cutting back in distance here. Ran into bluegrass last time. Actually, didn't want that distance. I think this horse is pretty dangerous with the cutback, and as you mentioned, with everybody on the 1 and the 6, I think his number might float up a little bit. I like him on top. Obviously, got to use the 2 logicals, as you mentioned. 1 Englishman and a 6 Crude Victory. Out of those 2, I probably lean towards Englishman, and I'm also interested on the 4 that you mentioned as well. Secured Freedom. I think this horse would come maybe pick up the pieces, and then I'm taking a couple shots here just in case on the outside. I like Crown the Buckeye. This horse has some speed, cutting back a little bit coming out of the Gotham. Hey, you never know. The other 2 might burn each other out. He might set a nice trip as well. So I decided to spread out a little bit here in the first leg.
I know you do like your Louisiana breds. I know that for sure. And you also included the Ohio bred here. So let's see how that goes. Fred, how do you see this?
I went with the 147. My favorite horse, as Gus mentioned, is, well, he didn't mention it was my favorite, but it is my favorite horse, is a 7 Crown the Buckeye. I think you're going to get a lot of Ohio State fans running to the windows to bet that horse. He has good early speed, not as good as the one. The one early speed is 130 U.S. time form pace. The 8 is 108. I think the change to Irad Ortiz is huge. We talked about that last night, John, on our podcast. I don't know what the percentage is when a trainer, and Joe Sharp is a very good trainer. He puts that horse. You mentioned the 8. Gus mentioned the 8. Crown the Buckeyes, who I like, because Flavien Prat is on that horse also for the first time. And Flavien Prat, while certainly is a tremendously good jockey in big-time races, he runs 34% in route races, and I think that's a kind of a telling tale. He knows how to get a horse running. We talked about Irad Ortiz the first time on the 8. Flavien Prat first time on the 7. Again, my horses are the 147. I love the 4. Secured Freedom as a long shot, 20-1. Johnny V getting on again for the first time. I think that says the horse is working out for trainer Tim Yakteen very, very strongly. So I think the 147, I know certainly I didn't use the 6. Certainly that horse is looking for his 3rd win in a row. Went from an 89 buyer to a 100 buyer. I'm not sure that, where he's going to go from there. But that's my thoughts on those 3 horses, John.
I guess I'm feeling pretty good if you don't use my single. Maybe I have a shot.
Does that help you out, John? Glad I could help, John.
It cleared it up a lot. Gus, you want to try to mute your podcast on the computer, maybe, so you don't hear. Now when we could talk, and then when you're talking, that's a lot better. It worked out a lot better now. When you're talking, then you unmute yourself, and then we won't have that background feed. We had some technical difficulties, everybody. Gus had trouble hearing us. So we're on the phone with him on the speaker, trying to let him hear what's going on, but we could hear him and see him loud and clear. So now I think we got it down pat where he mutes it. He doesn't hear the background noise. Now, Gus, you could turn up that phone as loud as you want. I told you to turn it down before, but you hear me and Freddie talk, I would turn it off. All right. So let's see. We're going to go to the 9th race, the American Turf. Looks, another, like it could be a 2-horse race here. I'm going to start it out. The favorite is the 4 Stark Contrast, who was on the Derby trail. He tried the Jeff Ruby Stakes. He opted out of the Derby to run in this spot here. Remember, Mamba has done nothing wrong. Exploded when it looks like he couldn't, get it done. He came flying down the lane and got it done last time in Transylvania. So they're the top 2. But Street Beast, I think last race, there was a lot going on with Street Beast before the race, during. So I'm going to give him another shot. And then Black Hornet would be another crazy one, the 6 for me to come closing in here. So I'm all about the 4 and the 12. I did include, I did change my ticket around. I'll put that back up there. So we... there it is. Yeah, I did change my ticket. I singled the first leg because I wanted to include a little price here, the 1 and the 6. So let's turn it over to Fred since he is not muted.
No, unfortunately, I am not muted. But the 4 horses that I went with here are the 4, the 5, the 8, and the 12. Speaking of Brisnet and number 1 Prime Power, the 4 is number 1 Prime Power with Flavien Prat on by 10 points. That puts the percentage of the win percentage for a horse that's plus 10 in the 55% range. You're again, Flavien Prat on a horse for the first time in a route race and number 1 Prime Power, also plus 10 points. It also has the highest last race speed rating, according to Brisnet. We're not talking about blackout time. I can't believe we're not talking about him. I know it's his first time on turf, but I think that horse has breeding for turf. There's no question that he could get a good trip from that spot. Luis Saez is on him. Another first time on Luis Saez. That horse, I think, is a long shot. I think 10-1. I don't see it because a lot of people are going to look at that horse and say he's not been on turf yet. and leave him out. And I don't think that's a good idea. That's why I use him. Of course, the number 8, Greenwich Village. That horse, Bob Bafford's training that horse. JJ Hernandez had ridden that horse the last couple of times. That horse is working out, lights out, ready to run. I think that horse has a good chance to win. He's looking for his 3rd win in a row. Certainly at the distance of a mile and 16, stretching out a little bit. I don't think the horse is going to have trouble going from he's been getting better each race he's run. And certainly I don't think that the distance is a problem. A wild card might be the 12. I remember, Mom, I don't think the post helps him very much. I think, I'm not sure he's a wild card, but Jose Ortiz has been riding lights out as well. That horse is looking for 4 wins in a row. That horse has got to eat better each time he's gone out. And so I think, the 4, 5, 8, and 12 are my choices in the second leg of this race.
All right. We'll put Gus now off speaker.
Yes, you mentioned Blackout Time, and I'm going to take a shot here with 2 horses that are kind of thinking a little bit outside the box, but I really like Blackout Time. There was an interview about 3 or 4 weeks ago. One of the assistant trainers for McPeak was asked, what's going on with Blackout Time? He said, He goes, wait till you get a hold of him in the Grade 1 American turf.
Really?
So that should give you a little bit of an idea that this horse wants some turf. He has a sibling that's won on the turf, and he's got enough class. I mean, this is one of the horses coming into the year that was looked at as one of the Derby favorites, and now you're getting 10-1 on him. And I think that price is going to stick.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to – I almost singled them, but I'm going to also go to the outside with Pletcher's horse, the 14. He does have some natural speed, final score, and he gets IRAD this time. And I don't know if you watched the races already this morning, but this is like either him and Jose are winning every single race.
Is that right?
So he's
Pretty much.
He's in the top of his game. I'm not worried about the 14th hole too much with him, especially with a horse that shows some speed, probably won't get caught wide around the turn. But I'm really zeroing in on Blackout Time to 5.
Yeah, I think my bigger spread tickets, I'll find room for Blackout Time. I heard people talking that he needs the turf, and they've been talking all last year the Triple Crown Trail when he was on the Breeders' Cup leading in. Said, you know what, he's got to get over to the turf. And here we go.
On our show, we talked about Blackout Time, and the Breeders' Cup show once or twice. We talked about Blackout Time tremendously. Talked about it a lot.
All right, so difference of not really a huge difference of opinion, but Gus did throw in the 14. I think if that 14 drew a better post, he would be talked about a lot more. Just so far on the outside, but like Gus said, he's got tactical speed and IRAD. He's going to zoom over, get a spot, and if he could tuck in a nice spot and sit 3rd, 4th, 5th, and he's got the finishing power there. So if he gets a nice trip down the lane and gets over, he's going to be very dangerous at 8-1. And I think both horses, like Gus said, the 5 will stick around that 8 to 10-1, and the 14 should be 7-8-1. So 2 good spots there, and very very live, both of them. All these races, I mean, there's just so many ways to go. How do you want a ticket structure is the whole name of the game.
Sure.
So far, first 6 races, we've structured our tickets horrible today. I mean, I lean on a favorite, it gets blown out. I go with the all button, the favorite wins. So I'm zigging when I should be zagging. So spend time on your ticket structure, especially for tomorrow. Pick your spots, pick your key horse, and then find the bets around your key horse. What would be the best suitable. Pick 3s, pick 4s, something keying your strongest opinion. Moving on to the 10th race. All right, let's see. 10th race here. We got the Churchill Downs. A lot of people are going to just basically, mail it in and say the easiest thing to do is just single Knightsbridge and move on. I was almost in that camp, but then the more I dove in and watched videos, and God, I think he's hasn't faced anywhere near the field he's facing here. I mean, he's faced a lot less in those grade 3 races. So now you got some legitimate horses he's up against. Maybe some extra speed will show up here, and Knightsbridge, maybe has to work a little harder. I think the cutback on the 1 Disco Time, I think that's what this horse needs. Brad Cox even said that, basically, Wasn't sure he could get that, mile and a 16th, a mile and an eighth. So now we're cutting back to where he belongs. So this should hit him right between the eyes. And I think if he could work out a good trip from the rail with Johnny V, Disco Time is the main upsetter. But we're structuring tickets, for the 2-day pick 6 now, and almost have to use Cornucopian. Disruptor looks legit. This T.O. Elvis, this Japanese horse, if you watch the videos, boy, this horse has a turn of foot, can explode, 30-1. He's going to be on my tickets. I'm going to have him on there. And if I go 1-6-8, and let me look at my ticket here. Did I include that here on my pick? Yeah, 1-6-8. I basically went with Disco Time, the turnback, Knightsbridge, the fastest and best, and the crazy long shot, the 8. Not saying the 2, the 5, the 7 doesn't have a chance. And even the outside horses, Crazy Mason's coming from the clouds. Banishing is the funnest horse around. Point Doom is not out of it. If you look at numbers, and Thoroughgraph can definitely, step up a little bit here. So trying to get by with the 1-6 and the stupid one with the 8 horse. Fred, what do you got?
Well, I'm with you with the 1, no doubt about it. Not just because of disco, because back in the 70s, disco was my thing. We'll just leave that alone. But no, Johnny V, again, getting on that horse for the first time. That horse, the cutback in distance, I had exactly the same comment, John, in the notes that I had here. Interesting, also has almost the same U.S. time form, early pace and late pace, which is, I think, perfect for Johnny V. A 109, a 104, 109 early U.S. pace, 104 late pace. Both of those stand up against the other horses in the field in terms of, what the horses' style of running, if you want to use that word, style of running. Brad Cox's horse, last 2 races back, ran against Skippy and White Barrio, Full Serrano. So it's kept some good company, got beat up pretty bad last race. Put a line through that race. And last race, he ran a 100 buyer. That isn't his best buyer. Best buyer is 107. So he could still look to move up from 100 buyer. Not going to be a bounce, in my opinion. He's working out like he's not going to bounce either. I also use the 7. I love, again, Flavien Prat getting on a horse for the second time. This time, this horse has been racing in America, then went over to race in the Riyadh sprint race there, over, and came back and working out, lights out, ready to go. I think this horse has a big chance at 6-1 with Flavien Prat on him. And I want a little bit of a, you mentioned him already, John, the 11 Point Dume. I mean, that horse has last 2 races run tremendous at 7 furlongs. And I think, that outside post, I'm going to watch tomorrow to see if any scratches. I'll like him a lot more if we get 1 or 2 scratches. It doesn't really, I think it makes a little bit of a difference. And also Edwin Gonzalez's only mount. That's another angle I love, coming in for an only mount. Horse had a nice workout. 3 for 3 at the distance. The last 2 times at 7 furlongs, put up a triple-digit buyer speed figure last 2 times out. No other horse has done that recently. So I think, that's why I like the 1-7-11.
Fred, your ticket, if it hits this ticket, I mean, you're leaving the 2 biggest singles of everybody's tickets off. So if your ticket hits, it's going to be boxcars. And I wish you a lot of luck, because I could be there with you, because I do have a lot of your price horses. Gus, go ahead.
Yep. Just too deep for me here. The logical one is Knightsbridge. I tell you what, if this was a beauty contest from yesterday and today, this horse will win hands down. I don't know if you ever taken a look at this thing. He is a specimen.
Adonis.
He's something else. But I'll tell you what, it's suspect to competition. He's been beating at Gulfstream, believe it or not. He's going to have to prove it on the big stage, and this is the big stage, and you're going to have to take a low price, because bottom line is, his speed figures speak for themselves. He's going to be the favorite, and 9-5, he might come down a tick or 2 off that as well. Another horse I'm interested in is the 4-horse Hall of Fame. I've been a big fan of this horse
all-time
for a long time. And I'll tell you what, when Asmussen has this much time and he cuts back, I like to see the record he has with these kind of horses. This is a quality horse. I think he's asking for it. I'm not sure if you've seen the Clocker report yet with the workouts, but
No.
they're raving away the way he's training, going one turn. I think he's sitting on a big one. He's obviously going to need a little pace. I think he's going to get the pace in front of him, but I can see him motoring home, and he might get up at a big price here. So for me, just them two. The one that hurts me leaving out is Cornucopian. Obviously, he's got a big shot, and there's a couple other ones, as you guys mentioned. Disco Time is another nice horse. But to cut my ticket, I think I'm going to stamp my flag here with just two, with Knightsbridge and hopefully Hall of Fame can blow this thing up.
Yeah, that's what you're hoping for. You're leaning basically on almost like a single, but you're throwing in something that can really change this whole thing.
Yep.
All right,
Yep,
moving on to number 11, the race right before the Derby. Used to be the Forester. Oh, it is the old Forester Bourbon Turf Classic. So I don't think it really drew a banner great field, but it's competitive and really tough to find a horse to lean on. I mean, I can lean on the 6 and the 9 as the two principals, obviously. What impressed me with the 9 when I watched it, really that last race, he was between horses, and that doesn't win many races on the turf there when he's between. And he dug in like he always does, and somehow he's always there, and he digs in and finds a way to, finish the race, and which is a great sign. Rhetorical had gate issues last time, and I'm going to put a line through the Maker's Mark and say that that wasn't his typical. He did run pretty good in the Breeders' Cup mile on the turf in Delmore. He poked his head in front in the stretch, and then he was run down by Notable Speech. So, can't fault too much there. About 1.1 miles, you're asking him to go the furthest he's ever gone. Is he, a better miler? But against this field, I think he can handle this 1.1 miles, with a little better trip. And last time against Zulu Kingdom, if he could have got out of there, I don't know what Irad was doing. He looked like the speed on paper. He backed off. Zulu Kingdom walked the dog, and it was over. But Rhetorical, maybe his race was done before the gate opened, so I'm going to give him another look. And the one horse on the lead, shortest way around, he can dig in. Asbury Park, I'm going to use the 3 Asbury Park. Pratt takes over here for Chad Brown, and he left the 4 Program Trading. Program Trading, they're just trying to figure out what to do with him. He's tailed off a bit. So I think Chad moved Pratt over to this up-and-coming, newly turned 4-year-old. Pretty small horse. If you see him on the track, he's really small. So maybe he'll have, that turn of foot and the agility to, come between horses. So I'm going to use the 2 principals, the 6 and 9, and hopefully this is the Chad that, takes a step forward to 3, first time as a 4-year-old. But I wouldn't fault anybody that wants to throw in, a few more here. Fred?
Well, I'm you can fault me because I did not throw a few more in. This is a single I went with. I watched some replays of the races that you mentioned, John. Yes, I don't know what Irad did last time out. I don't know either. I think this race sets up pretty well for this horse. I think if he gets out of the gate this time a little better than the last time, could be good. He's also number 1 prime power, second off the layoff. One of my trainers that I'm beginning to follow a little closer is William Waldron. I think he does a great job. Irad knows this horse very well. I think I agree, draw a line to that last race. I think he's sitting on a good race. It's been in some quality races. You mentioned some of the foes that he raced against in the past. Zulu Kingdom, A Notable Speech, etc. Program Trading already beat Program Trading. I think this horse is, and again, I took a chance singling him. Also, according to Equine Edge, is the most likely winner. So there's a lot of angles for me personally that make this horse. If I get to this race and I'm alive, and this horse is a single, I'll be extremely looking forward to that last race, the Kentucky Derby. So we'll see how it goes.
Gus?
Yeah, I'm deep here, guys. I went 6 deep. I'll go in order of program. I'll start with the 1, Corruption. Horse couldn't hold on 1.5 miles. Does have a win here on the Churchill Downs turf course, the Matt Witt turf course, at the same distance as well. kind of couldn't get it done against grade 3 company the last couple times, but Johnny V might be stepping on the gas early, and he's going to try to cruise it on the front end. And I don't know. I mean, Johnny V's capable of putting this field to sleep. I think, it's a long shot, but in the turf, what I've seen, it really hasn't been holding too much. So that's going to be a little bit against him. But I like him on the front end. John mentioned Asbury Park, with Flat coming over because program trading maybe. He gave him 2 beautiful rides the last couple, and he just didn't fire. So I guess Brown is mixing things up a little bit. So that's a plus with Pratt. I mean, he's rode this horse before, and he does have some upside. Like John said, he's lightly raced 4-year-old by Frankel. So got to like him. Program training, I mean, with Gaffleone coming on, he's a quality horse, and maybe the light bulb goes off here. So I don't want to get beat with him. He's got some back class that I like. He's a multiple grade 1 winner. I'd never like throwing those out. So he can fire it up. This is his second start off a break as well. And he does add blinkers. Rhetorical, the 6 obvious horse. I mean, this horse was bet down against Noble Speech in the Breeders' Cup. I mean, this horse was less than 4-1 that day. So yeah, that's some respect in my opinion. He's not my top choice, but I can't leave him off with Irad as well. And then I go towards the outside. Test score, first time facing Elders it wasn't the deepest field in the Pegasus turf, but I tell you what, he did it nicely and he won. He beat Elders for the first time when he faced him. And this horse, does run well last year on this course. I believe he came second to the aforementioned Zulu Kingdom in the American turf last year. Very quality horse with motion. Manny Frankel is going to ride again. And then I'm going to include the outside, the horse coming in from the Middle East, from Dubai, Make Me King. He was in the turf at Dubai last time, ran a decent race. I just don't like leaving these off when they come out. Usually if they're Americans and they go there and they come back, I do have some questions. Yep. But when they're coming straight from there, I think it's a different story. I think this horse is eligible to run well. You might get a good price. And Jose Ortiz is kind of making every move the right move lately.
Yeah, I did include that one. I forgot to mention I did include the 10 for the same reasons you said, Gus. Ran with Ombudsman last time, who if he'd be 3-5 in this race if he came over for this one. So held his own against that one. I would throw him in too if you got the budget. All right, moving on to the Kentucky Derby. Why they named the day, why they named the week, the greatest day, the greatest race of the year. And we have one of the most interesting derbies I can remember. No clear-cut favorite. It's down to 5 or 6. I can't narrow it down from 10 horses I want to use. I probably have 5 or 6 on my A line still. And they just got to, break some eggs and, make a decision and see, if we could get down on it. So I'm going to let Fred start out here. You could talk about it first. And we'll go to.
I like when you say we have to break some eggs, John.
Got to break some eggs, and breaking eggs means you're going to leave some off, and that's Johnny D from the Steve Bick Show. Break some eggs, and Gus knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's a classic every year.
So anyway, if you notice, I had him wearing it. Obviously, my favorite horse is going to be the Puma. Thankfully, you were not wearing a Puma shirt. It looks a little bit like some Puma, outlines. I couldn't see it close enough that it's actually horses is what you're saying, Gus. Thank God, because if that was a Puma shirt, I think John was going to cut out of the podcast.
I was out of here.
It would have just been the two of us. But listen, this horse, I think, is a gritty, tough horse. I think Castellano being on it has a lot of experience in Derby, winning with horses. When those gates open, man, a jockey's got to have the right moves to make if something happens that doesn't go the way they planned. And hopefully that doesn't happen. But I think that gives this horse an edge because Castellano already in the last race, he was out a little bit slow, but he got him in the right spot, came in second by a nose to Commandment. And I watched that race about 3 times. And Castellano is a great jockey. And another interesting fact about jockeys in the Derby is over the last 50 years or so, every 10 years, the age of the winning jockeys has gone up. And that bodes well for Mike Smith, who's 60 years old. My goodness, God bless him. 60 years old running a race. I think a jockey on a good horse that has some experience. That's why I like the Puma. I think this horse is getting better and better and better. I think he's sitting on a big race. Gustavo, the trainer, Delgado, has obviously trained and winning horses before from the Derby. I don't want to bring up Maj because that horse certainly won the Derby a couple of years ago with Castellano. I'm sorry, John.
Yeah, that was bad.
Anyway,
That was bad for me.
well, listen, we've all had those moments where we pick a horse, somebody else picks it. No big deal. Listen, he could be sitting on a big race, but like you said, John, there are so many good horses in this race. If I get to this leg and I'm still alive in my little $112.50 pick 5, the 1-8, the 1 Renegade. There's been some rumor that he had a cracked foot. Anybody else hear that?
Yeah, you should. If you get to this one, I'll answer that. If you get to this leg here with those 2 horses, you should be alive for possibly 5 digits on your ticket. And I hope you get there with that because it'll be pretty special.
It'll be fun to watch.
Structure. But yeah, there's been talk about Renegade. Gus might have more update on
more information on that.
The 3/4 or the.
Something I heard or I read. I should
Yeah,
say,
I just heard just not much. I haven't heard too much on him. Hopefully he's in the start again tomorrow night.
Hope so too, because I think he's a good horse. Again, I got the 1-8-9, the 9, of course, the Puma, the 8. So happy we talked about Mike Smith, the experience he has. That horse is a good horse, been getting a little bit better each time. The 14 Potente, I kind of like this horse, like JJ Hernandez staying on the horse for the last 2 races for the trainer Bob Baffert. Again, hard to leave out a Bob Baffert horse. The 18 horse, Further Ado, number 1 Prime Power, Johnny V, 33%. I'm sorry, Brad Cox, 33%, third off a layoff. The horse is returning well, has highest last rate speed rating. I think he has a good post to see what unfolds in front of him. And Johnny V, again, you got 3 good jockeys, Castellano, Mike Smith, and Johnny V on some horses that have a good chance. You could talk about 5 or 6 other horses, John, like you said, but that's where I'm sitting on the 1-8-9, 14, and 18.
And the Puma is your top pick, so we will turn it over.
Top pick is the Puma.
Puma's your top one, but like we said, we could all use. So, Gus, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm into Puma too. Since day
Oh, boy,
one,
yay!
we all know that he ran against Chief Wallaby back on January 10th. He was actually favored against Chief Wallaby that day, and Castellano was on. He didn't break that well, and he was kind of rushed up into the race. He did take the lead, and at the end, Chief Wallaby, went by him. But I'll tell you what, they were much clear of the 3rd place finisher.
Oh, yeah.
Connections then we're deciding either to start him in a maiden special weight at Gulfstream Park, going on 2 turns, or going to the Sam David. So they went to the Sam Davis instead. But when that happened, that was a late call. And Castellano already had 6 mounts that afternoon at Saturday at Gulfstream Park, and he actually won 4 of them. So it ended up pretty good for him. But he went to Tampa, and Edwin Gonzalez, which is a decent rider, he had the call. I'm not a person here that's going to criticize jockey. I'm not a jockey, and I know how tough it is, but it didn't seem he was in the correct spot, at all. He did finish a nice 3rd. The winner was Renegade. I don't think he was going to catch Renegade that day, but I thought it was a solid enough effort. And then after that, they went ahead and went to the Grade 3 Tampa Bay Derby. He was wide both turns. That was a quality field. If you remember, you had Power Shift in there.
Yep.
You had Canaletto for Chad Brown. And, of course, there was the return of Further Ado. And I'll tell you what, they battled, and he pulled away a little bit at the end for the victory at 7-1. And I thought it was very impressive. At that time, you're in the mix there. You don't know what's your next start going to be. They decided to go into the Florida Derby, knowing it was going to be a solid race, very salty race. And he didn't disappoint at all. I thought he ran a magnificent race. Again, he was a little wide. And as Fred mentioned, Castellano, he's been doing this so long, and he's a Derby winner rider. He's got ice in his veins, and he just knows when to make the move. And I trust him in this spot, and I can see a very similar spot. I like the 9-hole for him. He's going to have to hold off some good closers coming in. But to me, he's the one for me. And not only that, but I also have a future ticket on him. I got him on pool 4 after that Sam Davis. I actually got 124 to 1 on him on pool 4. So
Right,
it's an
let's do
extra
it.
pull for me.
That's-
I've never had one that big. I think 50 to 1 was the highest future I ever had. Most of mine end up scratching, but I'm live to this one right now. Hopefully we get him in the starting gate.
Yeah.
So
If
you
you
like,
get
see, look.
if you get a horse from a future bet into the starting gate, that's the first
Yes.
moral victory. And you got him at 128 to 1, and he's going to be under
My God.
10 to 1.
Yeah.
You can't ask for better than that.
Yeah, no doubt. It's fun. It's fun just to have a shot.
Fun. That is
And
fun.
I'm only going to go 2
You have
deep here.
500 on it? How much you have on it? 500?
You can take a 0 and about
Yeah.
$20 off of
Yeah.
that.
If you have $10 on that one, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, but it's fun. And then the other horse is Chief Wallaby. You know, his nemesis really, when they started their career together, who would know they would both be in here, and they're, you know, two of the favorites. I
Sure.
think this horse still has some upside. He ran so well in a Fountain of Youth, and he came back and ran a good race in the Florida Derby. Actually, he was trying to get between horses, and he got, I don't know if he was looking around or what, but I'm going to trust Bill Mott adding the blinkers here. I think it might be the difference. This horse has an enormous amount of talent. For Bill Mott to start a horse off a maiden win straight into the Florida to the Fountain of Youth, that says a lot to me. And this horse has performed at a top level. To me, they're the best two in the race. Obviously, I respect Commandment a ton. All he does is win. He figures it out somehow, and he's probably the most consistent horse and the horse you can trust the most to hit the board, to tell you the truth. This horse can do it a variety of ways, and he is tough. And I think Saez is going to fit his style well as well. Obviously, there's some other ones, but for this pick 5 ticket, I'm just going to go too deep. I'm pulling the Puma.
well, if you could get there, you just want to be live to a will pay on a pick 5 ending with the Derby.
That's
all
exciting.
you want for.
Yes.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you, Gus.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Definitely has a chance. I guess my top pick is going to wind up being the 15 Emerging Market. He's just looked unbelievable over the course over Churchill this week, and lightly raced 2 races. Everybody's going to say you can't win the Derby on 2 races, but this horse was in training for 11 months straight without missing a beat. So circumstances that led to why the race didn't go. He didn't run. So he's really not just a newly turned 3-year-old that just started in training. So Chad Brown, this is not his typical move. He'd skip this race and go right to the Preakness. He's done it 3 times, and he's won 2 of them. So for him to run this horse in the Derby, and after that maiden race, it wasn't even like, well, we'll see how he comes out of it. He goes, we're going to go to Louisiana Derby, 1 3/16. Okay, and then you come out of Louisiana Derby, and we're going to the Kentucky Derby. So he hasn't wavered and said, this is what he's had planned for this horse the whole time. Chief Wallaby, we've been on him for 3 months now, hoping the blinkers do it. And when you look at the stat, like no horse has ever won the Derby with first-time blinkers, or, one horse has done it. They were all 50 to 1 shots. Nobody is a Bill Mott trained Chief Wallaby. Everybody else is grasping for straws. Here, he basically, and like what Gus said, that coming between, he might have needed that little bit extra to keep him more focused. So I'm going to give him the shot. And they're going to be my top 2, the 15 and the 12. I'm going to try to figure out how to get Incredible into this, because right now he's in the 30s, 38 to 1 or something like that. He's just too high. And I think, he's 2 races over Churchill Downs. People forget that he won the 2, the Street Sense, and he looked like the second coming. At that point, they're like, oh my God, Incredible, loves the track and all. Then he has that 1 bad race in the Holy Bull. Everybody dismisses him. They go to a lesser route to Louisiana, the Virginia Derby at Colonial. I'm gonna give him a shot at that big number, but you got to respect Renegade. I'm not worried about the rail. Commandment, like Gus said, that might be the horse that we single in all the 4 positions, because I think he's the most reliable. Everybody else has a little bit of a knock against him. My 2 key horses, 2 lifetime starts. If he can't handle it, Commandment is your most logical to hit the superfecta in one of 4 spots. So we may key Commandment in all 4 spots, up and down with 10 to 12 horses. Dane and Bourbon, He's pretty darn good over there. I don't know. It's they're going to win it one day. The Japanese are going to win it, but is this the one? I don't know. Forever Young couldn't do it, and Forever Young's pretty good. Last I heard. The Puma, got to include the Puma. Incredible, like I said. Potente, Baffert's horse, not totally out of it. Further Ado, is he a Keeneland horse? But he had to win at Churchill before, so wasn't as flashy as the Keeneland races. But what was behind him in those two Keeneland races, I think, led to he did what he had to do. It just happened to be, not much behind him. And the ones that drew in, not too much interest in the Great White. I know Gus likes Oselli. He's been following that horse. We've been hearing about that for the full year. So Oselli, the maiden, maybe can clunk up there for third or fourth in a super. That would be interesting, and that would blow up the tote board. So I'm going to, lean on the 12 and the 15 and see how far that could get me. But, play around with a bunch of them.
No doubt.
Oselli, what do you think Oselli's chances of hitting the board possibly, Gus?
I'll tell you what, I had him last time. I believe he's 29-1 in the Wood Memorial. I had 20 win in place. And at the top of the stretch, I was screaming. I mean, I lost my voice because he made that move, and I was like, he's going to go right on by. And I don't know what happened. I guess he figured he's still a maiden after all these, and he goes, that's the wire. I don't want it. And he just kind of idled there, and he finished third. So
and the two at the last run got the job done.
They sure did.
He did have the lead.
Yeah, he looked great at top. I mean, he's 2-5 at the top of the stretch.
Yeah, I would have live betted him.
Yep.
But that's why he's a maiden.
Yep. Hey, so this is happy hour. So for the Woodford Reserve, we got this on Saturday. And then for the Derby, you got to take the Woodford.
He's going to save the good stuff for tomorrow. And I'm sure you got your cigars lined up. I saw them in your pictures.
Yes.
You just hit me right here, Gus. Listen, if the Puma wins tomorrow, I will be raising a glass to you, Gus.
Yeah.
But don't you have John? Don't you have a future bet on Chief Wallaby or something?
No, I got it on Danon Bourbon. I got 58-1 on Danon Bourbon.
Oh, nice.
Gus just showed the Bourbon, so 58-1. He's going to be a lot less than that, and see what happens. I'm not
I think Rich Eng also has them at that price. He mentioned today.
Yeah, the second or third pool maybe was, or when I heard he's coming, I just bet him.
Oh, nice.
Not your 128. I got
actually 124. Even though Andy Serling on Twitter, and David Uragana told me that horse had no shot, that they want no part of him after the Sam Davis, that everybody was making excuses for his third place finish. Wow. I always knew this horse. I mean, he came in with a lot of hype before his first race, and he's lived up to it. And it's so similar to the same pattern as Mage. It's kind of
I was just going to say that. It's a better version of Mage. Same pattern and a better horse than Mage.
Yes, I kind of think so. I mean, this is a tougher field maybe, but I'll tell you what, the way these guys know what they're doing, they brought this horse correctly, and he's responded for them.
Wow, She's So Spicy is not on the lead. Whoa.
She don't know what to do from there.
I don't think she does. I'm Queen Maxima fan. I just love Queen Maxima.
Yeah.
That's a question. Talk about this a little bit. So 3 also eligibles are in because there are 3 scratches. Now there's only 1 also eligible left. Is there a time?
Yeah, 9 a.m.
9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Yeah, they told Dallas Stewart that horse is out.
Oh, so the field is set.
Yeah, the field is set. Any scratches from here, it'll be cut down in the field.
Horses.
It'll go from 20 to 19 and so on.
Gotcha. 9 a.m. Okay. So the field is what it is. Got it. Thank you.
That's it.
She's So Spicy, dead last, and Queen Maxima a badly run fourth.
Oh boy.
Wow.
And we had tickets with the all button in that race that are defunct.
Who's the 8? Who's the 8 there?
8 was Moonspun. Out broke and went wire to wire.
Wow.
The 4 was
Ow.
my long one. I used 4, 5, 6 on a bunch of tickets. The 4 was my crazy one with Pratt. But the 9, Joe Rosario, he blew it at the last time at Keeneland. He was 2 to 5, thought he had it, and he couldn't. He just gave it the worst ride. And
Did
of course,
she go spicy? Did she miss the break? Because that's rare for her.
yeah, she didn't. She wasn't on the. Yeah, she broke about with the pack. The 8 zoomed out and watched the replay, but they might isolate it and show maybe she had more trouble than I saw.
Yeah. 3 to
That ain't
5.
like her.
No.
Here you go. Here you go.
Mhm.
Oh, she came out. Okay.
Yeah. She might needed one. Again.
Look at her. That was no problem.
No.
Wow. Oh, here you go. The head on. Maybe something happened here.
Yeah, 8 came out sharp.
Like the
What
6 was
jockey was
supposed
on
to
the
do.
8?
Yes.
John, what jockey was on the 8? What jockey?
The 8.
Curious.
Castellano.
Ah, good to hear.
Yep. Wow, she's so spicy. Look at this. A clean trip, nothing, and just had nothing. God darn it. And we,
All right, John, let's close out the show, my
Let's-
friend, so we can focus on what's ahead of us today on the Oaks.
Yep. Now we're at the 8 bells. We got the last 6 races to go. We're going to get our Derby City 20-cent pick 6. Get that ready to go.
Nice.
I think we're going to single the 9 horse, Chad Brown's horse, in La Trienne. Who's that? Fully subscribed?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Fully subscribed.
Yeah, I think that's who we're going to lean on, and I think that's going to be Chad's distaff horse for this year. Hoping that can take a step forward. I think that's what we're going to single, and even the 2-day pick 6 starts with that race.
Yeah, she's a
And that
deserving
might be-
favorite.
They might be a single as well. We're going to see how the betting goes. If she's hammered down, then we might lean on her. All right,
That was fun.
that was a good time. Thanks for joining us, Gus.
Gus,
Brad,
always a
we will
pleasure
be-
to have you. Always a pleasure to hear what you have to say. And we'll look forward to seeing what happens tomorrow. We all will look forward to seeing what's happened tomorrow for sure. John, we'd like to make sure we thank our sponsors again before we close out and leave myself with my final words.
Yep. One last chance. You can buy the handicapping package at briznet.com. The ultimate handicapping, Derby, and Oaks package, $29.99. Lots of info there. All right. I think tomorrow we will be live from the Hibernian Club with some special guests starting at 12:30 to go over any last minute changes, scratches, or ideas. But it'll be a fun
Scratches?
day over the club.
Absolutely. We're giving away a lot of stuff. Brisnet, Gus, just want to let you know they gave us some stuff to give away. Very nice. of
Throw in
them
the
to
hat.
do that. Oh, yeah, the hat.
I said Gus might be wearing it.
Not the Puma hat. Oh, man. Love it.
It's nice.
Yeah.
They gave us a couple hats, a couple shirts, a lot of pens, a lot of hand sanitizer, so we'll have some clean hands at the high roads.
Brisnet knows how to spend, baby.
Well, they gave us some nice shirts too.
All right, guys.
Listen.
Thanks for joining. Thanks for listening.
Thank you again, Gus, for joining us.
Good
John,
racing
I'll
luck.
See you tomorrow at about 10:30. We're going to meet at the club. Is what the game plan was. We'll meet at 10:30 to put our ticket together because we don't want to wait till later. I'll probably be around 10:30, something like that. Anyway, we can talk about that. But listen, I'm going to close out by saying this: bet smart, cheer hard, make sure the fast horses can equal some serious fun. And when it's all said and done, we just say this.
Let them run.
All right, Gus. Good luck. Good racing luck, Gus. We'll communicate
luck.
tomorrow, John. I'll
Go
talk to you
Puma.
later. Have a great night,
Bring them
everybody.
home.